What's up, Internet, and welcome to PAX Day 1, PAX Prime
There's
2014 Day 1. Yeah, it's over there.
Staring at the computer.
Yeah, that's actually going to be kind of tough to do. But anyway, it's PAX.
Yeah.
Yay!
And also, this is Michael Vance.
Hi! Hi, Mom. I'm on the internet.
We don't know who he is. Please help us.
I'll work for food.
Anyway, so Day 1's wrapped up, and I don't know, it's been a really busy day.
It's been a good day.
Just walking around, I mean...
Yeah. Walking and standing in lines, mostly.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just... Well, for you anyway. For me, it was just walking around doing crazy stuff like lifting 30 pounds of Chipotle. Because,
Yeah, big armfuls of random ground meat.
Yeah, well, it was literally like a box, so it was like 3 feet by something. But it was pretty intense. But anyway...
Sorry.
We don't care about food.
This is Vance. Why is he here?
Hi. I know Thompson from the internet, and I'm also at PAX, as you can tell. So, they call me in here for my expert opinion. I'm expert in nothing, so I will be contributing that much.
Honestly, mostly we just didn't want to go to dinner together because that's weird. Not gay, just we don't like each other.
Well, they really tried to
It's a Penn and Teller kind of thing.
I felt like I was in the way, really.
He was the third wheel. But anyway, as we were saying, video games. We did them.
I did many of them today. I had a very good first day of PAX.
Well, why don't you start us off?
Oh, well, in that case, let's talk about a board game.
Wow, starting off strong.
Wow.
Yeah, this is Grow Board Game. You can find it at growboardgame.com. It is the organic building game. It is, for those of you who have maybe gone to a PAX but not this one, or are kind of tangentially familiar with how the indie megabooth works, it's a bit different this year in that there is an indie board game section. It technically existed previously, but it's a much bigger presence this time. And this is one of them. It was, again, a case of me just, hey, this looks fun. I'm going to sit down. Also, they had chairs. And, hey, anything with chairs was worth my time.
No kidding.
It's an interesting game. It is kind of a three-dimensional fuck your friends.
How so?
How it works is there is a base. And from that base... there is a trunk constructed out of square wood pieces with slots on all four sides. They interlock into each other, so they build up into something resembling a trunk. And from those square brown blocks, you have three other things. You have leaves. You have leaves.
Fruit.
Flowers. No, leaves, buds, and flowers. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Okay. The leaves are the communal pool. Everybody has the option to pull from them. They don't belong to any one person. And how it works is, from the let's say turn one is you have the option of either placing a branch, which is again one of these square wood brown pieces, placing a leaf into one of said branches, which will net you a bud that turn that you can't use for next. Anyway, explaining board games is really hard. I've just realized.
Yeah, that sounds rather difficult.
Shit.
My understanding is you got taken to a dark corner of PAX and then
It was right in the middle.
Then made to do someone else's gardening. Did you get tricked into doing gardening?
Possibly, actually, now that you think about it.
That said, the concept sounds interesting.
It is. People, I'm sorry. I'm not going to waste your time trying to explain this poorly and give you probably the wrong impression of it. But what I will do is, if you are the least bit interested in kind of tactical gardening, I suggest you look up growboardgame.com. That's GROW boardgame.com. It's currently, as we speak, about halfway through a Kickstarter with about halfway left to go for funding. So actually, if you are perhaps interested in board games as a general hobby or habit, this I consider to be one worth looking up. I won't speak to the specifics of the mechanics of it, because obviously I can't do so, but it was fun. I picked it up with 4 complete strangers, and had a blast. It was an interesting exercise in both 3D building and tactical and strategic planning of future turns and, temporary alliances with people across the table and, just beating the crap out of people you don't like.
Which, that's most board games.
Yeah, no, so growboardgame.com. Again, like I said, they're on Kickstarter. They are looking to fund basically the manufacturing of this board game, because it's an intricate number of pieces, and, CNC machines or laser cutting is not cheap.
No.
But anyway, yeah, that's the first video game I have to talk about.
Well, I'll start with an actual video game.
Yeah, I know.
Can you do that? I know I'm new here, but...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I run the show. We can do that.
There are video games we can talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I played N++, which...
is not new.
No, it's not. N++ is new, but N itself, the original N...
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, when did N come out?
I want to say early 2000s.
I was talking to, I think, one of the developers at the booth, and I think he said 2004.
Oof.
That sounds right.
Yeah, so, I was kind of shocked to see them, but I didn't even know that N++ was a thing.
Yeah, no, that... I've played N a few times, but, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, the additions...
For those of us who aren't familiar with N, perhaps, me playing the part of the audience, what's N?
N is a ninja game where it's a 2D plane, little stickman ninja thing, and you're running around trying to get to the exit, picking up gold pieces along the way, and trying not to die horribly in explosions or falling to your death or etc.
So you might call it a platformer?
It is totally a platformer, and it's a lot of fun. It's got a bit of a physics-based run to it, if you haven't played it at all. It takes a little bit of momentum to get going at a full speed, and then you can just fly across the level, you can wall jump, you can, I don't know, whatever you expect a ninja to do.
Lots of aerobatics, lots of...
Be invisible, which makes for a terrible game.
Okay, maybe not that part. Anyway, so with... I never got a chance to play N+, which was I think it came out on Steam, but it was mainly an Xbox title, if I remember correctly. And N++ adds more multiplayer, because I think multiplayer was in N+.
I don't remember.
Neither. But not only did they add the multiplayer aspect, but they also added a race mode, where obviously you're trying to beat the other people to the end. But the part that makes it more interesting is that when the gold pieces add to your score, and you are given points based off of how quickly you go. And whoever gets there first, whoever gets to the end gets to shoot a rocket that they steer by going left or right and try to kill the other players. Because once one person gets to the exit, there are no more respawns.
Ah, yes. The classic ninja rocket of lore.
Exactly, standard issue. But, yeah, so no more respawns, and it's
Well, hold on. Have you ever seen a ninja with a rocket?
I've never seen a ninja, which means...
Exactly.
Exactly. So, and you only get one rocket, but I mean, it makes for an interesting run to the end, at least.
Do you need more rockets?
Well, technically you need 3 rockets, but I haven't gotten there yet.
Maybe you need 3 rockets.
What, like rockets?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I want to go there.
Me too.
Really badly.
Also.
Anyway.
That'll be tomorrow, folks.
Yeah, that'll definitely be tomorrow.
Or possibly the day after. Or possibly the day after, because fuck.
It's 4-day PAX.
Anyway, so Vance, what have you been playing?
I will start off with the first thing I...
Sorry. I'm... Why did you... Is that the only thing to speak of N+?
Oh.
Was it good? Did you enjoy it?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, in fact...
Let's not just explain what the game is.
Sorry. I wasn't even thinking. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I didn't even think about it because I think of N being so common. It seems like, well, I feel that it's a game that people know. I thought it was a game that people knew.
I think it's a game that people who know games know, which is probably the most redundant statement I've said in a long time. But I think when you get down to it, there's a lot of games out there that seem like, oh yeah, no, everybody knows that, but there are very few games that are up there with Mario where just everyone knows them.
Yeah, I can't remember who I was talking to, but I was like, oh yeah, Crypt of the Necrodancer. I'm like, what? And I'm like,
oh.
Yeah. So, case in point, I was like, oh my god, you haven't played it. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, I really enjoyed that game. It's very fast paced. It's easy to learn, difficult to master, and playing it race mode was a lot of fun. In fact, I signed up for their tournament because they had one to win a PS4. And if I wasn't so greedy, I would have potentially made it past the first round. But I wasn't. So
Sorry, somebody just got shot outside.
it was bound to happen. United States of America. Anyway, Vance.
Oh,
Back
right.
to me again.
This is why we don't have any followers in the States.
Hi. Hello. I will start off with the first thing that I actually did,
You could just hand him the mic.
which is a playable demo of Bloodborne. I was shocked to see that it was here today, and it was fantastic. For any of you guys following along with the... I guess I should explain Bloodborne. Bloodborne is a game from the studio who brought you Dark Souls.
From Software.
From
Yes.
Software, indeed. However, unlike Dark Souls 2, Miyazaki was actually more involved with Bloodborne, so people are kind of calling this the real sequel to Dark Souls. There are some changes that happened to it. If you haven't been keeping up, it's instead of having a shield, you have a gun in your left hand, and so it's a lot more action-based. The guns aren't overpowered, don't worry. The guns are actually more used to stun enemies and stuff like that.
Huh.
But it's the playable demo that was released out at Gamescom, and it was very interesting to play. I didn't do that well. I may have died at the first guy with a big cleaver, but only because I'm so awesome. That's how that works, right?
How many times?
Was that the end? Did you then have to leave?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Really?
I got a t-shirt. But, no, I played for probably a good 10 minutes. But the controls were very tight. Like I said, it's a lot more about... it's a lot more action-oriented. You're not just kind of huddling behind a shield the whole time.
Speaking as a man who ran a two-handed dex build, what are shields?
Yeah, I use those a
yeah.
lot.
So you're doing lots of... when you're locked onto an enemy, instead of a roll, it's actually like a quick dodge, which... is good and bad because it doesn't quite get you out of the way of some of the attacks.
Well, neither did the roll, if we're honest.
Yeah, and then the other big change is if you get hit, you can actually recover your life that you lost by attacking the enemy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know in fighting games how they have that kind of red health after you initially get knocked off? Well, that actually sticks up there for a little while, and if you go back and attack the enemies who attacked you, you get back some of that health.
Okay, I like that.
Nice.
So it's very much kind of about going back and staying in the fray.
It encourages aggressiveness.
Yes.
That's really sweet.
I was incredibly pumped that was there because I thought there was no way they were going to be at PAX. But
Yeah, playable demo.
I will probably be playing that at least once a day because I do love me some Dark Souls.
It looks fantastic, though, does it? Just visually, it looks amazing.
It really does.
And Victorian, I heard.
Them beautiful cloth physics.
Mildly gothic.
Yeah.
Yes, mildly gothic is kind of an understatement. It's everything you wanted of a dark and stormy Victorian painting.
Sweet.
Wide-brimmed hats.
Yep. Wide brim hats and leather dusters and some leather mantles.
That actually
Nice.
really cool.
It's very fun.
All right.
And, sorry, how long did you have to wait in line for that?
I actually only had to wait in line for 30 to 45 minutes.
Which is
very good.
bloody amazing.
Yeah. But that was first thing on Friday,
Yeah.
which is when you either want to go first thing on Friday
Or sometime on Monday.
sometime on Monday when everyone is far too tired.
Saturday or Sunday, not good days to be on the main show floor.
No, not so much.
Not if you want to do anything else.
So, moving on.
Back to me?
Yep.
Alright, yeah, what a video game. Do we want to play a video game now?
Yeah.
Alright.
An actual video game.
Yeah.
Not some crazy board game.
You can't get much more video gamey than Tetris.
Ooh.
What?
Tetropolis. Which is basically what happens when you mix eugenics, Tetris, and a fascist dictatorship.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm interested, but what?
It is a platformer puzzle game where you play as a malformed block. And by that I mean you do not happen to you didn't achieve one of the standard Tetris shapes, your L's, your Z's, your straight lines, your cubes, what have you. And because of this, you are basically ejected from the manufacturing floor and sent to the reclamation area where you are to be broken down for parts and reused as other blocks.
Let me see if I get this straight. Are you trying to tell me that Tetris takes place in a perfectionist, Gattaca-esque,
almost, yeah. A dystopian
dictatorship?
A dystopian fascist dictatorship, yeah. It is Gattaca. Actually, Gattaca is a fantastic analogy. You are Ethan Hawke. Wait, is that his name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. You are a fucked up T-block who wants to go to space.
Yeah, actually, you are you are one block short of an L. You are...
I've often been told I'm one block short of an L.
Yeah. So, in fact, you are just a perfect right angle. You have an erection.
Yeah.
I mean, Tetris does that to me too, but that's why my legs crossed.
But seriously, this game sounds interesting.
It's fantastic. It is, as I said, a puzzle platformer and it is a Metroidvania, such a fucking term to throw around, but basically it is a Tetroidvania, as they say. So what happens is, as you continue, you gain abilities and can adopt different shapes. Like in the Metroid sense, you instead of different suits, you gain the ability to adopt different Tetris shapes. You have a square block which has the special ability to immediately drop heavily to the ground like a thumper.
I thought I had the special ability
of just fucking you.
Yeah, everything that I've been working so hard.
Admittedly, in this, it is you who are fucking up the oligarchy of this, whatever. Yeah. Sure. And then, likewise, you have the ability to adopt you gain the ability to become a straight block, which is springy. It compresses in on itself and then can launch itself. And with these, you modify or you challenge the puzzles. The purely platforming puzzles. But in addition to that, they don't turn it into a falling block puzzle game, but they do turn it into you have the Tetris shapes, which actually are the level design. So there's also a control room on each level, which upon accessing, you can actually modify the layout of the level in order to access other areas by rotating and flipping the Tetris shapes, which are the individual sections of the level. So
my mind is blown.
Yeah, outside of the platforming game, you actually rearrange the level by flipping pieces around and whatnot in real time. You can actually hit a button to view the levels as it exists rather than just an abstract Tetris shape. So you can actually, zoom in and watch you flip a piece and all the crates fall from what was the floor.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good.
It's really good. It's really fun. I enjoy my time with it. I'm not going to speak too much more about it other than the fact that it is now on Kickstarter.
Another one.
Yeah, and it is also now on Greenlight. You can find it at tetropolis-game.com. And just, I really enjoy the physics of the movement in that game because each individual piece is a different shape and each one behaves differently, but they're all right edges. There's no wheels. As a player character, you constantly are kind of rocking between your corners. And it's got a really nice physical feel to it, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but if you play it, I think you'll probably understand it. It's just it's not a canned animation to roll. There's a weight to your character, and I think that, to me at least, speaks to kind of like the overall design of the game, to the philosophy of that. It's really it's being handcrafted, so to speak, both by you, the player, modifying the level, and by the designers in the manufacturing of the game. Anyway, it's really good. Tetropolis. I highly recommend you look it up. It is, as I said, tetropolis-game.com. Tetro police.com.
Metropolis with a T.
Yeah.
Anyway, or with Tetris, whatever. You get it.
I'm done.
So the next game on my list is something that I not only have played a ton of, but actually have done a first look, not a review, but a first look of, and that's CoinCrypt.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I also got a chance to play CoinCrypt today.
Yeah. I forcefully pushed you in the direction of the game.
I was kind of standing by CoinCrypt and was suddenly a force acted upon me, and I was then in front of the controller playing the game.
You know what? Here. I'll take that. You take that.
Oh, look at that.
Yay. Anyway, so the main reason that I want to talk about CoinCrypt, and like I said, I've got a first look review thing on the webpage, so check that out.
That's from last PAX, as I recall.
No. The first that was a copy after.
Oh God.
Anyway, the point is, it's in early access, sorry. And, it's been under development for a while now, and things have changed a fair bit. They've added a lot of art. The game is much, much prettier than it was before. And what's more important is that it now has controller support. And it is remarkably efficient. I really, really like the way it handled. So you would, in the current design, they're still figuring out exactly what they want to do with it, but it would be like the coin's in your hand, you press a button, then you press right trigger, coin goes off. Exactly. Which, you know what? It worked really well.
I saw, yeah. I agree. Just purely looking at you play the game, it seemed to operate quite efficiently.
Yeah, and they're also toying with the idea of doing like a double press system, but I don't know, I really like this system as is, and then, just walking around with a controller, and it works. If you're in the store, you got the face buttons, you got, A, X, Y, B, plus the directional arrows to select items from, and, bumpers for action, and it worked.
What I liked about it is they were kind of taking a PC concept of having, like, your universal accept and cancel buttons, which were your left bumper and right bumper.
Yep.
Then just applying those to every situation. And so using all of your face buttons, those were the ones where you kind of interact with the world. But at the end of the day, you were always using the same buttons to accept and cancel, which, I don't know, I found that it was a really interesting way of doing things that I've never actually seen used for controller version of a PC game.
Yeah. And like I said, it worked really well. I mean, if you like CoinCrypt, get ready for this, because this is awesome.
And if I recall correctly, it's actually going to be probably released as a final product in the next, probably by the end of the year.
I wouldn't be surprised. I didn't actually ask Ray.
I did. I don't recall the exact specifics, but he did mention something along the lines of launching it from the back of a bike somewhere across America.
Oh, yeah, right. He's going on that bike tour. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. But anyway, like I said, CoinCrypt is a lot of fun. For those of you who don't know it, it's a roguelike where everything in the game is coins, including your money. So your attack, coins. Healing yourself, coins. Yeah. Defense, coins.
Any action you can take is built into a coin, which also has a monetary value.
Yeah, so if you want to go buy a new item, well, are you going to still have items that you can use in battle? And if you run out of coins, you're done. So it's really like a tug of war.
You have to carefully watch your coin purse.
Yes, you need to know what you've got.
There was a few times where I almost ran out of attack coins, and that is not a situation that you really want to be in.
You can run, though.
You can run. Yeah.
Which means just tossing your coins on the ground and running away.
Take my money!
Yeah, exactly. Don't hurt me. But anyway, that's it for that game. Vance.
While Thompson and I still have the microphones, Thompson and I played a game together today.
A very good game.
Which was Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
We talked about it last wrap up, but
Okay.
but you can go through.
Weed played it, so
Yes.
I'm quite interested to see what the interaction was like with a lesser being.
Thanks. All right, then I will just kind of give a brief summary of the things that I found interesting about it. Look at that. So I really liked the idea that there aren't that many games out there where you don't actually take direct control of an object. So in Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time, you are the pilots of a small ship, and so your actions are really just running about the ship and then manning the various stations throughout, which is interesting. I've never really, in almost every other game, you take direct control, assuming direct control, and fly throughout the galaxy and destroy things, but...
Oh, sorry, I can't do a Reaper sound effect.
But,
well, actually, kind of ironically, yeah, sure. I remember them discussing the game as, like, Han Solo, like, running through the Millennium Falcon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, if you've ever seen that scene in Star Wars where Luke and Han both go to the guns and they each take the ladders up and down. That's exactly what this game is.
Yeah, and like running back and forth and like steering the ship and then go fly and go shoot and go do stuff.
But
that is this game,
it was all
except
going rather swimmingly
until the boss.
Until the boss. Alex decided that us running into many things was a good idea, which
well, it is.
I'm not entirely in agreement of.
Like, totally. I mean, running into stuff is the way to freedom.
Yeah, those glowing red things that are those
asteroids?
are definitely the things we wanna.
Yeah, the glowing red asteroids. Yeah, that's totally the target.
Yes. Then we were destroyed by a giant space bear.
Because that's what happens. Anyway, very good game.
Very, very good game.
Yeah, likewise. I think we're going to be going back to play that again tomorrow.
Yes.
There are quite a few games that I've been hearing about today, just during this wrap-up, that I kind of want to go check out tomorrow.
Actually, in the same vein, I'm totally going to hog this from you for a moment. There's another game that, at least, we all played at some point.
What, Titan Souls?
Together.
Titan Souls.
Titan Souls.
Titan Souls.
Yes. Titan Souls is a lot of fun. It's essentially Dark Souls, except without all of that meddling, leveling up, fighting lesser things. You just get the boss battles in a bow.
It's weird when you consider Dark Souls to be a fairly distilled experience already, but this is Dark Souls distilled even further to kind of just a pure boss fight experience.
Yes.
And it works. Holy crap.
Constant action. The demo that we played was set up was just kind of a boss rush, but yes, very, very...
That is the game.
That is the game.
That is the game.
That is the game.
We have entered the game, ladies and gentlemen.
Seriously.
It's interesting because this is actually, was originally, I'm not sure if it was a jam game, but it was a free browser-based game.
Yes, which I actually played through. That's the main reason I stopped in with the booth, is because I wanted to thank those guys for making the game, and they're like, well, we have this full version here, and I'm like, yes, I would be playing that now.
Yeah, and it's really good. It controls very well. It's remarkable what you can only do, or what you can do with 2 buttons.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that the fight, you have 2 buttons, but 3 main mechanics.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can roll, which is, useful in the Dark Souls sense of, hey, this is things trying to kill me. You have shoot, which is also useful in the, hey, I want to kill this thing. And you also have retrieve, which is kind of the hidden feature.
Well, you also missed run. You can run.
Oh, fuck run.
I know. Well, run's pretty important when you're running away from things. But yeah.
Okay,
so
4.
Okay.
So actually, just to catch everyone up, if you haven't played the Game Jam version, it's like Dark Souls, only you have just a bow and arrow and a single arrow.
Yes.
Also, it's top down and not third person.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the reason we keep saying it's like Dark Souls is it is very fair.
Yes.
And by fair, I mean it will completely screw you up if you do anything wrong.
But it will be your fault.
Yes.
And if you are really good at the mechanics, you will exceed very well.
But the basic premise is you have this bow, you shoot your arrow to attack, and then you have to pull the arrow back into yourself.
Well,
you do that.
You can pick it up.
You can also go over and pick it up.
But
if you pull it into yourself, you can also hit things on the return journey.
Yeah, basically, you can hold down X, I believe it is, to draw your soul arrow back to you. Hey, soul. Bunch.
Nice.
And in doing so, if it travels far enough, it will have gained enough speed in order to perhaps hurt something on its return journey. So you can actually use it almost as a pseudo trap by kind of, if you miss your first shot, you can kind of kite enemies in such a way that they are between you and the arrow and then draw it back to you into them. It's really fun.
While at the same time, somebody who totally isn't me might use it accidentally to separate the blob an extra time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
now suddenly there are even more blobs. Totally not me, though. I would never do such a thing.
So, did you die on the blobs?
Listen, I don't think that that's a useful thing to discuss.
You perished. You fell. You were fallen.
If anybody here or is listening has ever played D&D, you know anything gelatinous is fucking deadly.
Yeah, that's true.
And splitting the party is a good idea.
Also true. Which in this case is your arrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you want that arrow as far from you as possible. Don't even worry about it.
No.
It's really just slowing you
I mean,
down.
really, weapons? Nah. Okay, so you made it to the blob, which was the first.
I beat it. I beat the whole thing.
Oh, jeez.
All right, I'm proud of you. How many times?
Sorry, are we talking here or the original Game Jam?
Both.
Shit.
Yeah, I played through the Game Jam, which, by the way, is free.
Yeah.
I played it online a few months ago. You can go out and find it if you Google Titan Souls.
Yeah,
They probably have
that
it,
is...
right?
I'm sure they do. Not that I have it available.
Yes. So we're just full of information. And then I played through the 4 bosses that were available today.
Oh, shit.
And got a t-shirt, actually.
Nice.
You bastard.
Yep.
I need to go back.
Yeah, no kidding. I want a t-shirt. Yeah. Anyway, but you did die from the gelatinous blob thing.
I did.
So how many attempts did it take
I
you?
think the most I ever died on a boss was 5 times. But...
Okay, I died once, and then I put the controller down because I wanted to be nice and give other people the opportunity to play the game.
Listen, they were calling people out, and the guy never called me out, man. That's
All right.
maybe they felt bad for me. Maybe they were like, oh, he's sweet. Let's just give him another shot. Break his little heart. Take him off now.
I beat the blob. I probably had a half dozen attempts at the laser eye cube.
That was probably the thing that killed me the most.
Yeah, that thing, it is, let's say it's easy to underestimate the width of that thing relative to the size you happen to be.
Yes.
Because it rotates, 90 degrees as a form of movement, so it just, clunk, clunk, clunk. Except it is much larger than you are, so one rotation of that is actually a fair distance to travel.
If you ever get caught in a corner, that's it. You're done.
Oh, yeah, totally. That said, beat the gelatinous thing really quickly. Actually, no, it took about a minute. Beat the cube in about 20 seconds. Like, first try.
I don't have the pattern yet, and this is actually the first time I've ever played it.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. I never played the Game Jam version, I mean.
Me too.
It is. You do have to be bold with that specific boss.
I'm good with games.
I'm not.
Anyway, but yeah, it was the ice brain thing that took me out because of a bad dodge. Much like most Dark Souls fights, it's a bad dodge
Should've rolled.
No, I did roll. I just didn't roll far enough. Which reminds me, it's like one-hit kills. So
Speaking of roll,
boop.
One thing that so I died a number of times throughout the course of it, and every time you start back at the beginning, and there's a staircase to kind of go off to this boss area, and every single time I would try to roll up the staircase.
Oh, I know, right?
And they've programmed in that if you try to roll up a staircase,
You just hit the
smash your head on the staircase and just roll back. It doesn't do any damage, but every time it's like, oh, right, forgot about that.
I bugged the game by doing that. I got stuck in an infinite roll animation on the stairs.
Did you guys know you can swim?
No,
And climb?
I did actually, right before I put the controller down, I did go off that pathway into the water and realized, hey, I didn't die.
Yeah. Yes, you can actually climb those vines. There wasn't anything around. Like, I took a few minutes to explore around it, and there wasn't anything there. But I rolled into the wall, and instead of bumping into the wall, I started climbing. I'm like, oh, what's up here?
Neat.
Oh, wait, nothing.
Well, for now.
Yes, but
Anyway, Alex, Mike.
Oh, I don't know. How long have we been going? Because I got at least 3 more games I could talk about right now.
I actually can't see the number. But
Me neither. Also, actually, sorry, I meant to ask. I don't see Audacity running.
That's okay. We're at 34 minutes.
Oh, so we got time. Do you want to do an hour? Are we okay with an hour?
Let's do an hour.
Okay. Because I could.
Yeah, let's not do that.
You missed the other one.
Anyway, continue.
I will leave the best for last then, and, well, that's actually a terrible thing to say about this game, because this game is actually really fun, but I'm going to talk about it now, because it's not, I guess, I didn't find it personally as good as the last game I'm going to talk. Oh god, I'm just digging myself into a fucking hole here.
Go.
Tharsis. It is a mobile game, iOS game. I played it on an iPad. I believe it's also coming out. He has hopes for Steam and other areas. Tharsis is coming to iOS, Android, and Steam in late 2014. There we go. I should just read the fucking card.
So, go.
Yeah, it is the result of FTL meets, let's say, Gods Will Be Watching, or something along the lines of Gods Will Be Watching, or Always Sometimes Monsters, mashed into a dice game. Yeah. Basically, how it works is this. The premise is that you are on the first colonization ship to Mars. Not the first ship to Mars, but the first attempt to colonize it. So Mars has been visited previously. And what happens is shit goes wrong.
What? Conflict in a video game?
Conflict in the sense of, at least as far as the demo goes, it opens immediately after, well, that's actually going to be a difficult choice of words. It opens immediately after a meteorite strikes the ship, which causes, well, it kills one of the original 5 crew members, and causes some severe damage to the life support system, which is, bad?
Typically.
Yeah.
You don't generally want that, no.
Especially in space. Yeah. And that's your starting point. What happens after that is, how the game operates, so to speak, is, you manually control, you select one crewman, and send him to, a section of your vessel, life support, helm, observations, what have you. Each of these have a specific function, regardless of anything that might be on fire in them. So if you perhaps send him to, the med bay, it will heal him had he been hurt. But if you send him to the med bay when it's on fire, he then has the option of attempting to resolve the problem. And this occurs through dice rolls. How it works is, say we're in the med bay, say there's been a pressure leak, for instance. And what happens is, perhaps this particular crewman has, 4 dice available to him and 3 rolls. So what happens is, the problem is, perhaps a level 12 problem. What that means is you need to put the a quantity of dice equaling, or greater than 12 into that pool. So what happens is you just swipe on the thing, dice are rolled. You can then individually select the dice that have come up, and move them into different areas. You can, drop them onto the problem, which will help diminish it as you eliminate the numbers. You can drop it into other things. There's a bar up top that is tied into... there's 3 pips, each one tied to a number on the dice, so 1 through 6. And filling one of those up gets you basically a resource card. What that allows you to do is, crew members have +2 stamina, or something of that nature. That's another use for the dice. Also, you can do things like healing people or yourself, or trying to solve problems.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. This is all... It is a complex game to explain, but in practice it's actually quite simple.
Oh, I'm certain it is.
Yeah, because you're just staring at me with glazed eyes.
I get it, but I mean, like you said, I almost guarantee you it works a lot better in practice.
Yeah,
just because
I recommend you go play it at least. Let me put it this way. It is an interesting exercise in disaster management and the slow but inevitable decline of everything you hold dear.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. Again, it is a heavy game, let's say. There's not a lot of humor to it. One of the last things I did was cannibalize the dead crewman.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, his body isn't being used for anything anymore.
No, well, it was in the end. Anyway, yeah, this is Tharsis. You can find out more about it at totallychoice.com, which is an interesting thing. Anyway, yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. I recommend it. It is going to be out late this year.
So, if you were cannibalizing a dead crew member and you blended up his body, would that be a shake that gives you the shakes?
That's brilliant. Stop breathing into the mic for
That was a heavy sigh into the mic, thank you.
doing this in one take, goddammit.
Again, heavy sigh. It's much different than heavy breathing.
Touche. Alright, well, since I kind of just stole... No. I stole the mic, so let's go to Mike.
Oh, it's suddenly me. Alright, well, another game that I played today was called Chroma Squad. Developed by two people. At least there was two people in the booth.
I have the card. Give me a moment.
While he's searching for that, I will give you the premise. So the premise is it's a strategy RPG, much in the vein of Final Fantasy Tactics.
Behold!
Hey, look at that! 5 Guys. And so
They're the same guys who made Knights of Pen and Paper.
All right.
So the premise is it's a strategy RPG in which you are the director of an incredibly low budget TV action show. Think Power Rangers.
Yeah, totally Power Rangers.
Same budget as Power Rangers, only you don't get any footage from Japan. You got to do all this yourself. So it's all very low budget.
Like, extremely. It's awesome.
So
Like duct tape.
each kind of fight, you are directing an episode. So you have, much like most strategy RPGs, you have different classes that you get to hire out to different people, and you can position your crew members throughout the level, throughout the fight, and attack people and use teamwork to gang up on people.
And special abilities, if they have them.
Yes, special abilities if they have them. And at a certain point in the fight, you get to go chroma key, I believe is...
Yeah, so essentially think of the Power Rangers doing their fighting in their street clothes and then actually being Power Rangers.
Yes.
That.
And so suddenly you gain special powers like a sword, and if all of your guys...
I think many cultures would argue a sword isn't really a special power.
Listen, it's a magic sword with fire.
It was actually a toy sword.
It really was.
Literally, that was the description.
And if you gather all your crew members around one guy, and everyone does their teamwork pose, then you take
My
them
God,
up.
please tell me it's called that.
Yeah,
I think
you
it's
press
a
the
finishing
teamwork
move.
button, and you bring them up, you bring
And
the
then they
enemy
do
up
like-
into the sky, and then there's a little giant laser show, and it's called a finishing move.
And it's...
And it's
yeah.
awesome.
Teamwork pose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh God, that is amazing.
Oh yeah, it's like... Yeah,
I can picture the Power Range pose. It's just that name, that title.
Yeah.
that might not be the official name, but it's the official name.
It better
in
be.
mind.
It should be.
One thing I actually really noticed about the game is that it had fantastic writing. There was a lot of really...
It was pretty funny from what I saw.
It was very funny, especially for a game that was in beta. Like, this isn't like a fully formed game yet. There was definitely some temporary assets in there, but it was very good. Some of the people I fought against were a man dressed as a giant iPod.
There was the boxing man, which was literally a box with boxing gloves. And, like, clearly, you see, like, legs sticking out.
There was... Oh, you're going to have to remember the exact name of this. Was it a traffic mancer?
Oh, no. Was it a traffic mancer? It was something along those lines.
Along those lines. It was a guy dressed up, and it was bright orange, and he had a pylon on his head.
And like a light standard staff, like with red, green, blue, or red, yellow, green. Wow, I'm
So,
You'd think I'd drive.
anyways, did you say blue?
Shut up. Shut your face.
So, anyways, the kind of thing that makes it a little bit different is that you're trying to gain audience members, and you do that by completing certain objectives throughout each fight.
Plus
And-
money, but
Yes.
This is the cooler one.
Audience members translate directly into money. And so the more audience members you have, the better money you get. And so everybody, including your staff, they all cost money, and you can get bonuses, which give you bonus things throughout the match, but they also cost money per week.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of trying to find that balance of power-ups versus actually making money.
And these bonuses aren't like, like getting... Well, I mean, they do directly correlate to something that would be like more defense or something like that, but it's like, we got a padded suit so that the punches don't hurt so much.
Yes, and there is a crafting system involved, and
We got a medic this time.
I do believe in one specific level there was a chain link fence that one guy had to enter his action pose and toss everyone overhead over the top of the chain link fence.
It was pretty awesome, actually.
I've not heard of this game, but this game sounds amazing.
It's pretty cool.
Yes, that was a fantastic game. I have.
Speaking bluntly, I originally I didn't like Knights of Pen and Paper that much, but this looks really sweet. I didn't play it myself. I just watched you play, but it looks pretty sweet.
Brazil?
It was a lot.
Brazil.
Brazil.
So that was from Behold Studios, and I believe the name was Chroma Key. Or Chroma Squad.
Chroma Squad.
Chroma
C
Squad.
is something different.
It is.
That's when you take the color green and make a green screen.
That's what it's called whenever you get a key in that game.
Nice.
I make terrible jokes. I'm so sorry.
Actually, considering the tone of that game, I totally would have believed it.
Okay. I got one more on my mind, and I just need to pull up my web browser. And it's called Extreme Exorcism by Golden Ruby Games.
Extreme.
I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it, but it controls in very much the same vein as, say, Samurai Gun or no, I wouldn't say Towerfall. Anyway, well,
I haven't played it. I don't know.
yeah.
I just heard Towerfall, so I turned over.
So that's just what you do.
Yes, Towerfall.
Pavlovi.
I know what you're talking about. Anyway, so this game, the multiplayer variant of it, anyway. 4 people on screen. They go pick up weapons. So they can hold up to 3 weapons at a time that all do different things.
Can they use all 3 at the same time?
Yes.
Are they mutants?
No, they just have really big arms.
Are some of them gun swords?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was actually there were guns that would shoot bullets that would go expand.
Yeah, those are called bullets.
Yeah, no, finish. They were expanding into giant bullets that filled the screen.
So shotgun?
Anime?
Video game. Anyway, then there was lightning bolts that would shoot vertically. There were knives that shoot horizontally.
Oh yes, sorry, I just remembered.
Yeah.
I just placed the name with the game.
It was what game? Oh, that one.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, so the multiplayer, deathmatch, kill each other, etc., etc. When you were successful, though, you would get a ghost, and the next round you would have this ghost that did the exact same things as you did in the last round.
So, what the hell's that game that involves time travel and the general with an eye patch and that Time Force? Yeah.
Yes.
Similar in nature.
In concept.
The replay functionality is similar.
Yeah.
But the game is 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it is totally like Super Time Force. But yeah, like I said, the way the execution is totally different. And single player is actually really cool. I didn't play it myself. I watched somebody else play it, but essentially the first level is you're fighting something haunted. In this case, it was a chair. And hear me out.
I didn't say anything.
Then you kill the chair, and then in the next run, you kill that copy of you. And then in the next run, you kill the first 2 copies, and then so on and so forth.
It gets pretty hectic after a while. There's 15 copies of you shooting grenades, and lightning is flying everywhere, and it's...
So essentially, if you go whole ham, and you're just firing all over the place, you're going to make your next round really hard.
Friendly fire.
Well, not friendly fire. They are the enemies, but they are firing as you did. It's like your ghost trial. Like is coming in. Yeah.
Okay, I get it. It's just
it works.
Wrapping my head around it.
Trust me, it works. It's I don't know if it's a difficult concept to understand.
It's not. In hindsight, it's just, what the fuck does this have to do with the possessed chair?
The possessed chair is really just a placeholder to
get you going.
Yeah. You need to kill something.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You need to kill something. And there's
Where does this end?
When you die. Yeah. Well, I think there's like, get so many ghosts in or something, and then you unlock the next area.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out, if all you're doing is putting more and more ghosts in the room, where does it stop?
If your ghost kills you, isn't that some sort of, like, metaphysical paradox?
Didn't that happen in Looper?
That wasn't a ghost. There was no ghosts in Looper.
Sure.
Mostly.
There was Bruce Willis.
He was like a ghost, insofar as he's white.
He played a ghost once. Spoilers.
Oh, I guess it is.
No. Anyway, so yeah,
It was fun. What game was that again?
that was
Max Ruby Extreme Exorcism.
Golden
Ruby.
GoldenRubyGames.com specifically, but it's Extreme Exorcism. They also have a game called Hermit Crab in Space, apparently, and Worm Run, and Destroy All Color.
These people have interesting titles.
I like these
They're
names.
going to PAX.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, man, we should go find them.
All right, who's next? You got one more?
I got two more, actually. I could do two more.
I have at least one more, so...
So, me, you, me?
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
The Talos Principal. Crow Team. Maybe you know them by other games in the similar philosophical puzzle genre as Serious Sam and Serious Sam 2. And
Serious Sam, the philosophical puzzle.
Where they have people that are missing a head with bombs for hands running at you.
I have no mouth yet, I must scream.
And explode. Anyway.
Yeah, it is a rather stark departure for the Crow Team. It is a beautifully created puzzle game with some fairly interesting metaphysical and philosophical hooks in the narrative, and possibly the puzzles. I never actually got a clear picture on that. Published by Devolver Digital, because, hey, those guys are awesome. It is a first-person puzzle game where you are... You, the character in the game, are like you, the person in real life, in that you don't really know who you are or what the fuck's going on.
Fair.
Or maybe that's just me.
No, that's fair.
Kind of like a Memento situation where, like, you're as confused as the character is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mildly less chick flicky, but yeah.
Yeah.
In the beginning were the words, and the words made the world. I am the world's... Oh, Jesus, fuck that. The words are everything, were the words, and... Oh, nope. You cannot go forward in an absence of space.
That doesn't make any sense.
Nope, like I said, philosophy. It is an interesting exercise an interesting, successful exercise, I should say, by a team who are well known for one very specific thing, which is kind of high-octane arcadey shooter. And somehow they've managed to turn everything on its head and create a well-thought-out first-person puzzle game with an interesting narrative. It is... I don't know how do you discuss puzzle games like
Puzzle
this?
games are really weird.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
I know...
just saying they're side-scrolling or top-down doesn't really...
No.
I know there are a bunch of, like, light puzzles that you're directing light to, like laser style.
Yeah, it is... I mean, in that regard, yeah, I could speak specifically to the puzzle mechanics, which are in this case force fields and laser receptors and emitters that you need to kind of mesh effectively, have things on the right side of other things in order to open things. But that's kind of not disingenuous, but it doesn't really speak to the actual game, which is on a whole very well crafted puzzles. They are they evolve nicely. There is a nice progression between the difficulty, in that it will often a puzzle you are on will often incorporate elements from a past puzzle, but just take it one step further. I mean, this is a pretty standard puzzle design, but they do it very well. They'll introduce new elements with each puzzle. Perhaps operating in 2 different levels, or through multiple different variations of lasers and emitters and things like that. And it never got frustrating, which is not something I can say about too many puzzle games. I always felt as if I was just on the cusp of, finding that solution. And I never, I always had those aha moments, which were always so nice, instead of the, fuck, I'm an idiot moments.
Yeah.
And likewise, there is, I don't know, call me mildly pretentious ponce, but I kind of dug the attempts to kind of tie in the deeper philosophical questions of who are we? Does free will exist? Is time real? Is everything linear? Is everything predetermined? Tying those things into a game is fun. I mean, it's hard to do well, and it's hard to do intelligently. I have high hopes that these are both, but even an attempt is interesting to see. And I don't know, it's ignoring all that, it'll just be, by the looks of it, a good puzzle game, a first-person puzzle game. Up there with certainly with your Anti-Chambers, if perhaps not with your Portal. Probably with your Portal 2s, I'd say. Anyway, it is going to be out in the next 2 months, hopefully. I can't guarantee that, but they're hoping for October, November. It'll be PC, Linux, Macs, and they're aiming for PS4 sometime in the future. Anyway, yeah, that is the Talos Principle. Crowteam.com. You can find them.
Well, it's actually really cool that you were talking about deep philosophical conversations, because the game that I played was actually a continuation of a series of incredibly deep and philosophical works, Dynasty Warriors.
Oh, yes, the well-known historical reenactments of...
so accurate.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine the Yellow Turban Rebellion was anything other than one man ripping through many thousands of...
As Red Hair the horse trampled thousands of poor Chinese farmers being forced into service, he thought, who am I really? Am I a horse? Anyway, so I actually got to...
Is this what I'm choosing to do, or was this chosen for me?
Does my role as a horse absolve me of the guilt of what I'm choosing to do?
Nah, fuck all these people. I want to see people fly.
No, but Lubu scares.
Yeah.
No, I got to play Hyrule Warriors today. So I played as Link, Link with the magic wand, magic wand weapon. So that's one thing I will say. I guess for those who don't know, Hyrule Warriors is the mashup between Dynasty Warriors and the Legend of Zelda franchise.
Which is, like, what?
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere. But after having seen many previews of it and playing it today, it works.
If I might ask, do you enjoy previous Dynasty Warrior games?
I have enjoyed previous Dynasty Warrior games.
Because
you're not getting anything really that strays much from the Dynasty Warriors formula here. So if you didn't like Dynasty Warriors, you're probably not going to like this. But I will say, so for those who are curious about the game, there is going to be multiple characters. You've probably seen that.
Princess Peach. Princess Peach with the well-known Triforce.
Maybe some DLC.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah.
But, so the playable characters that were there today were Link, Zelda, and Midna. And so...
I think I've seen Sheik as well.
Yes. Well, I know Impa is going to be one of the characters that you can play as. But I played Link today, and you do get a choice of different weapons. So, I had the choice between the Master Sword and the Magic Wand today. So I picked the Magic Wand just to see what...
Why?
Because I could. because it's a free Hyrule.
Okay, that's fair. But at the same time, it's the fucking Master Sword.
It's very true. I actually had a ton of fun, though, with that magic wand.
Okay, so tell me...
Giant AoEs.
Okay, so that's what it is then? Just sending fireballs out?
Well, everything in those games is giant AoEs.
That's true.
Even the Master Sword is like, oh yes, no, that spin attack was 50 feet wide last time I checked. But no, it's a combination of your direct attacks and your giant AoEs. But yeah, very similar to any previous Dynasty Warriors. The demo had me running into a fort and liberating the fort. Then the creatures that you fight are kind of like goblins. There was a moblin at one point. I fought a lizard. I'm never gonna remember what they actually call it. It's something like
whatever.
It's like halfway between Staphlos and Lizard Man, but it's those lizard things from Ocarina of Time in Dodongo's Cavern.
I don't remember.
Bipedal, long tail.
Yeah. You know the ones.
Bipedal?
Whatever.
So then I got the bombs, which kind of showcased the weapon system. You get to pick up different items and stuff. There was big magic attacks that you got to charge up, and I got to fight Dodongo. And one thing that I've kind of seen and got to experience today is that kind of one thing that they are taking from Zelda that is changing up the Dynasty Warriors.
Oh, they took something from Zelda.
Yes, just more than just aesthetics, is that the bosses that come in, you are actually fighting them the way that you would fight them in a Zelda game. So Dodongo, you would actually have to wait for him to start sucking in breath, and then you would chuck in a bunch of bombs into his mouth.
Okay, that sounds okay.
Yeah, and then enemies can be knocked down, and when they're knocked down, you do the most damage. And they have a little meter above their head, and as you do damage when they're knocked down, that meter ticks down. And once that meter hits 0, you do a giant attack that does tons of damage.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, I got to play about 20 minutes of that. Controls were very, very tight. It felt very good to be going in there and mowing down tons and tons of whatever the hell they were. Really weird looking things. Pause one of those videos and see if you can figure out what the hell they are. They're weird looking. But yeah, no, tons of fun.
All right, well, one last one.
Yeah, this is a kind of not something I'd had any frigging expectation to find, which is the Magic Circle, which is a hilariously generic name, intentionally. Okay. It is, it is in a similar vein to the Stanley Parable in the way in which it kind of, I was about to say meta contextualizes the video game industry, but man, that's a
Buzzword.
Yeah. Basically, it is a first-person adventure game. No, there is combat.
Interactive fiction.
Among other things. Basically, what fucking happens is you are the leftover remnants of a failed playtest in a video game that whose production has gone on far too long, through far too many iterations.
So what you're saying is breaking is far too gentle a word of what they do with the fourth wall?
Yes. And so they're not really trying to ground it in a fictional reality. This is knowingly taking place in the real world. It is knowingly it is knowingly partaking in the development of a video game in the video game. I mean, there are floating eyes, I guess, for lack of a better term, that are the avatars of the, lead programmer and the lead designer of the game, and they comment, or they have discussions about the design and the creation of the video game, and then kind of modify things on the fly in the world. So it's in no way is it attempting to tell a traditional story or what have you. Even more so than the Stanley Parable, which it was grounded in its own reality, not in necessarily ours.
I see.
But like the Stanley Parable, it is using the medium of video games to, speak about the medium of video games.
Which,
yeah, I guess. kind of the Stanley Parable meets. Have either of you ever played? I believe it's Double Fine's, one of Double Fine's new games. Shit. Oh, you have a sword that's a USB stick and you hack stuff?
Transistor.
No, the other one. And that's not Double Fine.
Oh, Hack and Slash.
Yeah, that's it. It's similar in Hack and Slash in that you actually end up manipulating kind of the pseudo code or whatever. I mean, if you trap an enemy using your weird meta game breaking / game development skills with a Z.
Skills with a Z.
You can actually then enter it and modify things like, among other things, the method of locomotion. So, does it travel on the ground? Does it not travel at all? Does it perhaps fly or something of that nature? You can affect its behavioral patterns, like what does it consider to be an ally, what does it consider to be an enemy. At one point, I had a ambulatory mushroom and a golden rat, both of which glowed, because you can set special abilities or special traits, and then just as a lark, I set both of them to be hostile to each other and watched them fight.
I like how the ambulatory mushroom wasn't the part that was done on a lark.
No! Well,
that was before we got in.
Actually,
let's do something weird.
Hilariously, previously there was a third creature type, which was effectively, they called it a howler. It was canine-ish, so, 4 legs, moved on the ground. I trapped one, ripped out all of its traits, so it became basically just a shadow, and then embedded those traits into a mushroom. So perhaps this mushroom was not by design ambulatory until I found it.
Fair enough.
Anyway, it's really fun. I mean, from a purely mechanical level, there's an interesting degree of puzzle and exploration. You're manipulating the environment through your lead skills. It's not hacking in that sense, but I'm just, using weird catchphrases for lack of anything better. But at the same buzzwords. At the same time, you're kind of partaking in this weird. It's almost as if you, as a game feature, have gained sentience and are rebelling against your human masters. Should I even look at what the fuck he's doing?
No, it's actually good. For this time.
Oh, well, thanks. I mean, admittedly, that's completely washed out on screen, so we probably can't see it anyway.
So you're saying what they did is they took that one episode of Bugs Bunny where Bugs Bunny gets into a fight with the artist?
Yeah.
And made a video game?
That was Daffy Duck, but yeah.
I think Bugs did it too.
It wouldn't surprise me, but the classic one's always Daffy Duck with 4 legs, a flower petal surrounded his head.
Right.
Yeah. But yes, it is not dissimilar to that, I suppose.
But fun?
But incredibly fun. Well written. I laughed out loud. I played a dozen or so games today, and this was the one that kind of made me laugh out loud. I was smiling the entire time. It's very fun. It's very, very, very good. And
where can people find it?
It is hard to find. Some cursory Googling was unable to find a proper website for it. It is the Magic Circle, 3 words. One of the reasons I'm so excited about this game is the pedigree of the people designing it. It is at least two of the people are people who have worked on Thief 3, specifically the Shalebridge Cradle mission, if any of you ever played that, which is considered to be one of the one of the scariest levels in any game ever. It is a well crafted experience that will just make you shit yourself. And likewise, there's people who have worked on BioShock Infinite. Basically, these people are one step removed from Looking Glass Studio, which, I believe some of the more Thief 3, BioShock Infinite, BioShock 2, perhaps? I don't know. Basically, it's similar to the Fulbright guys in that these are well-respected and well honed developers who have decided to go and make something smaller in scale, and taking all their AAA know-how and all that stuff into, crafting a smaller but still amazing experience. I highly recommend, you specifically, considering your love for the Stanley Parable, I know you need to go play this. Yeah.
I got this today, and I'm so happy. It goes 8.
Yeah, Stephen Alexander, among other people. It's Question... The company is Question LLC, but likewise, I haven't been able to find... Again, this was like 3 minutes of Googling you would have actually seen me doing.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Magic Circle, I hope you guys find some stuff and look it up.
I'll try to do a link dump for this.
I don't know.
We'll see. Anyway, so yeah, that wraps up day 1.
That is day 1.
That was actually pretty long for day 1. I think it was like half an hour last time. PAX East.
I don't remember very much about PAX East. Well, plus I was drinking for all of those. Oh wait, I'm drinking for this one too.
Yay! Hey! Yeah, so, like I said, that's day 1 of PAX Prime 2014.
From the lovely city of Seattle.
Yeah, so stay tuned for every other day this week, because we're going to have more. Bye, Internet!
Okay, lady, I love you, bye-bye.